Holometabolic groups or insects such as Lepidoptera and Trichoptera, moths, flies, fruit flies, have developed invaginated or imaginal discs for wings and often also for other organs. Hence why another name for Holometabola is Endoptera, inside wing, because the truth of the matter is before the caterpillar enters the chrysalis to be transformed into a butterfly, it already has wings, but they're sort of invaginated or internal, not external yet. So the information is there. In the chrysalis, information or rather cells are destroyed, cells that no longer need to be there, such as legs, the leg cells for the legs. So a butterfly doesn't need as many legs as a caterpillar, of course, and so on and so forth. So much of the caterpillar is destroyed. It destroys itself. Much of it dies. Or many of its cells die in that soup that it finds itself in. And that information in the caterpillar triggers. It's time to kill these cells, man. And it's time to and it's time for these other cells, for example, the imaginal cells, which develop into butterfly wings from within the chrysalis. Uh, those cells now can be expressed. Well, there's the genes that turn those invaginated discs into real wings can now be expressed. A homeobox is DNA sequence, is a sequence of DNA that actually is function is to inhibit and to express other parts of the genetic sequence. So sort of like a controller of DNA, which is part of DNA. Isn't that amazing? It's about 180 base pairs long and regulates large-scale anatomical features via inhibiting or expressing other parts of the genetic code. It's normally active during the embryonic development of an organism. Mutations in a homeobox gene, known as homeotic mutations, may change large-scale anatomical features because it's essentially controlling the expression of other parts of the genetic code. So, in other words, it's basically the control switch for start making these proteins and don't start making these proteins. But scientists are extrapolating today and fooling gullible school children and the general public who don't have the time nor the desire to look into these things carefully and not suggesting, dictating that homeotic mutations or control grid mutations, as I like to call them, can result in sudden beneficial biological change. Keyword beneficial, and I would also add the word new change or change. New is inherent in the word change. So and therefore can help explain how complexity can arise in organisms randomly within a single generation, as would need to have been the case for the complexity of the double metamorphosis that butterflies, moths, beetles, bees, wasps, essentially 80%, almost or over 80% of current known insect species have to undergo before they can even reproduce. because only the adult or the imago of the life form of the organism can reproduce. Only when it has fully fledged wings can the insect, in 80% of cases, uh, or 80% of species rather, can they reproduce. Let me put it another way. You can step on a TV remote by accident and change the TV channel, but does that action necessarily suggest that several small, random, successive, incremental um, footsteppings on some electronics, some electronic parts, created TV and the remote and design and created the obviously engineered relationship between the buttons on the TV remote and the operation of the TV? Of course not.